This man was a police officer, but he couldn't even protect his own family. He had a daughter who was still in middle school. But one day, after coming home from work, he discovered that his daughter had been brutally beaten to death by a man weighing over 200 pounds. The killer, however, had no connection to their family, no grudge, no history. The sadistic killer simply enjoyed the thrill of murder. Known by the nickname One-on-One, he liked to prove his strength by beating people to death. But his victims were mostly teenage girls. To make it seem less like torture, he would even give the girls weapons to defend themselves. But it was all in vain. When the girl's father came home from work, he found nothing but blood all over the house. Before he could even process the pain, his wife had already snapped, choosing to slit her wrists in the bathtub. And just like that, in one single day, everything he had, his family, his happiness, was gone. But as a police officer, he couldn't do anything about it. Devastated, he ran to the killer's house. Armed with a gun, seeking revenge without any evidence, he barged into the killer's home, shot him dead without hesitation, feeling that justice had been served. But instead of peace, he was arrested and became a murderer himself. What he didn't know was that the case behind the killer One-on-One had even more layers. The same year his wife and daughter died, the police department developed a new technology, a system that could construct the subconscious mind of a killer based on the murderous intent particles left at the crime scene. By analyzing these particles, they could directly access the killer's inner world to help solve the case. However, to enter the mind of a killer, one had to have killed before. So, John, being a former police officer, became the perfect candidate. When John woke up from his descent into the killer's mind, he found himself in a strange world. His body was mangled, and the surrounding buildings were shattered. The only thing intact was a distant body. Using his severed left hand, he pulled the body closer and unlocked the door with his mind. Once inside, he saw the victim's face, and to his shock, he instinctively called out her name. At that moment, he remembered where he was. This place, the Well, was an artificial world created by the police to investigate crimes. They collected potential murderous intent through scanners, and could reconstruct the killer's inner world before they were even arrested. In this case, they were trying to catch a serial killer. In the room, there were 7 broken bodies, representing the 7 victims who had already died in real life. The common method to solve such cases was to piece together clues like a puzzle. By slowly drawing the shattered buildings back together, 3 words emerged, forming a clue. A colleague in charge of monitoring noticed that the clue resembled the sign of a local barbecue joint. The killer had likely seen this sign, and it had become part of their subconscious. The field team rushed to the location. Lily, after comparing photos, figured out that the killer's hideout was across the street from the restaurant, but they arrived too late. The killer had already noticed them. When Captain Bobby broke down the door, he found only one victim lying in a pool of blood. Luckily, the victim was still breathing. Bobby ordered his team to carry the victim out, but that would prove to be the worst decision he could make. John, meanwhile, began to realize something was wrong. He focused back on the body. Everything in this world was broken, yet the body remained perfectly intact. More importantly, the owner of this world had not appeared since John entered.